Hey! There's the fat guy in his striped shirt again. Let me first start off by saying that I make absolutely no conclusions in this video. I don't tell people what to do one way or the other. I'm only interested in stating facts, and I'm interested in your opinions. And I do actually read every comment, and I actually enjoy reading comments, especially on these videos. And by the way, these videos, which I've always entitled What's Going On, are never monetized. I don't make a single penny off of them, so don't accuse me of taking advantage of like what's going on in the world for personal gain. And also too, other people I notice read the comments and they're talking back and forth to one another, and I read that too. And I'm always a person that's a sponge for information. I live in Lexington, Kentucky, by the way. Most of you, especially Europeans, but also too a lot of Americans, they think that Kentucky is a really conservative place or something like that. And actually a lot of Kentucky is, but Lexington's not. This is actually not only a college town, but it's actually an incredibly liberal town. And by incredibly, I mean big time. I absolutely abhor people calling me either liberal or conservative. I'm actually both and neither. I don't fit on either side. I'm always on the side of logic, common sense, and wisdom. So now that we got that out of the way, I did drive around today, since I know Europeans and other folks, watch this, and they kind of watch with, eating popcorn what goes on in American elections. And it doesn't matter what side anyone's on. I'm not taking any sides on this, and this video is not about the election or anything like that. And I absolutely abhor politics. I find a lot of it incredibly humorous and depressing, all of it on both sides. And but both sides, of course, are way too polarized. The whole world, unfortunately, especially America, is way too polarized. But driving around today, I need to go to the grocery store in Costco. And I state this with no hyperbole or, overinflation. It was like, if you've ever shopped on the busiest day of the year before Christmas, what is that, Black Friday after that? It was like that. People are stockpiling like crazy at the grocery store and Costco. If you were to go to Costco on a Saturday or a Sunday, it's always really, really busy. And this is a Monday, and it is insanely busy. People are hoarding food and stuff. I just needed a few things. That's the only reason I went there. And I knew that this would be coming. I think a lot of people are worried about, it doesn't matter which side wins, and I'm not rooting for either side. I never root for politicians, because politicians are the least intelligent people on this earth. Whichever side wins tomorrow in the election, and I think a lot of people think that there's going to be some sort of some sort of strife going on. And I absolutely hope that's not the case. Also, too, wanted to know, since I love actually hearing from Australians and Europeans and other places, that France and Germany just had a shutdown. You guys call it a lockdown, but they just had a shutdown. I knew that the UK would soon follow after, and they did. And a bunch of Brits sent me the link to the government webpage, and even though I'm an American, I'm part English. I am part English. I thought I'd read through the page, and I thought it was kind of interesting. I guess interesting is the correct word. I'm not going to take sides because I'm not English. Then I don't have to, it doesn't apply to me, obviously. But I was wondering what you folks thought about that. And what do you think about the fact, and once again, I'm not stating my opinion here, I'm stating a fact, okay? I'm not giving anybody advice or talking about any sort of crazy, tinfoil hat nonsense. I'm stating a fact here that whether it be the United States or whether it be Europe, earlier this year, let's roll the clock back. Do you remember? I remember. Back in February and March, people say, well, this is only going to go on, these shutdowns. It's only going to go on for a month maybe at most. And then it was 2 months, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. And so France, Germany, and England, for all intents and purposes, are zippered up until, sometime in December. And I wanted to know what you folks thought about it. And also, too, I watched the video from The Sun and other places where people were filming out of their balcony in Paris. And this is not my opinion. This is a fact. You know, this is a hardcore video that you can actually find everywhere on YouTube. It's not like... Because I get people, especially on Facebook, people send me these links to these tinfoil hat silliness. And it's like, you know, give me a break with that, all right? But... the streets of Paris, as you could see from the balconies, were just like clogged, and everybody was honking, just like they're fleeing the city to like 24 hours or less ahead of the shutdown. And, you know, it's like, wow, they're fleeing. But someone left a, sometimes the most amazing comments are the most blatantly obvious ones that you sometimes, and I don't think of. Someone left me a comment, it's like, do you notice that all those people are... they're not fleeing a microscopic organism, you know, the people that you can see in countless videos. They're not fleeing a microscopic organism. They're fleeing the government. And I don't make, you know, I don't sit on one side or the other. I don't tell anybody what they're supposed to do or what they're supposed to believe. And I absolutely detest politics. So don't jump on my back for stating facts. Those people were not fleeing a microorganism, they were fleeing an announcement, a la the government, saying that things are going to go into zippered up mode, or whatever you want to call it, you know, shut down, stay at home, where's your papers at? I'm sorry, that's not funny at all. That's that harkens back to the 1940s. Where are your papers? Hey, what do you think about that? That was an interesting comment that somebody told me. It's like, you notice all those people jamming the streets to get out of town. They're fleeing the shutdown. They're not fleeing a microorganism. Like, you know, that's a bold yet highly accurate statement. I'm not saying that's good or bad, so don't jump on my back because I never said that was good or I never said that was bad. I was interested in reading what you... and I read every comment I do. Sometimes I regret it because, you know, like every 10th comment or 20th comment, I'd be like, oh, you fat ugly. Yeah, I hate you guts. I hate you. Well, that's good to know. You know, I don't sell anything and I'm not out to, you know, jump on anybody's back or anything like that. So I know what I look like, but I mean, give me a break with that. There's a lot of stuff that's going on that... And here it is, November now. And the whole world was told by, depending on where you lived at in the world, that this would be over with. And I knew even then, it's like, there's no way this is over with. Because, well, I'm not going to say that. I was saying that something to do with hiding from something. How efficacious it is to hide from something. It's kind of like a little child hiding from the bully that perpetually roams up and down the street. You know, he's still going to be there. Eventually, it must be confronted at some point in time. You can only hide from your troubles or hide from problems for so long. But I don't know. What do you think is no tinfoil hat stuff? And everything I've stated in this video is factual and undeniable, but I'm asking your opinion. I didn't make any claims. And also, too, yeah, I mean, when I went to Kroger's, which is a grocery store, and went to Costco, it's been going on. It's been ramping up because of the election here in the United States. There are all these people that are worried that they're going to have to, like, hunker down because XYZ entity is going to, like, flip out. I mean, that's really a radical statement of polarization. It's like when you're so worried about the outcome of an election that you're afraid that the other side, whatever side you're on, I don't care if you're on this side and I don't care if you're on this side, okay? So don't accuse me of taking anybody's side. This side is afraid of this side not winning, and this side is afraid of this side not winning. That's an accurate statement. That is not a polarized statement. It's a factual statement. And didn't used to be that way. I don't know when you were born or how long you've been around, but that's not right, you know. It's like, I'm a human and you're a human. You know, I know you feel this way about this and you feel this way about this, but we're both human beings and we're both trying to pay the bills and our property taxes and raise a family. And, you know, I respect your right to live and make a living and feed your family, and I do the same for you. Remember when it used to be that way? No, there's always been division going on it, but there's never been polarization like this before. Like, yeah, radical polarization. Just like... I'm not taking either side on that. And I don't tell anybody what to do or what to think. You know, sometimes they'll say this is the best product ever and every person should buy one, not meaning this thing. You know, that's as close as I get to ever telling someone what to do. Like, this is the best camera lens ever, this is the best camera, and this is the reason why it's great. You know, and I don't have any affiliate links, and you know, I do stuff like that, so that's the only time or place where I, you know, tell someone what to do, but I'm not commanding anybody to buy a camera lens. Making objective empirical observations based upon a lot of wisdom and knowledge on XYZ product, and the fact that I'm not affiliated or take money from anybody to highly recommend something, but this is different. Like I said, these videos are not monetized. In these videos of the 6,200 or so, 6,300 videos that I've made, these have the hugest, they literally just go off like a rocket as far as people that, you know, watch the videos that are entitled What's Going On. And like I said, they're not monetized. And people, I love reading the comments, and you all read each other's comments. And staying informed is always the best remedy for polarization. Like, if people are polarized, talk is always the best remedy for depolarization. Always has been. When people stay behind their own little garden, which is what everybody does now. Here's the real secret, and I'm going to tell you where it's at, and I'm not asking for your opinion. This is a fact. Okay? And I'm not wrong. And you can't prove I'm wrong because I'm 100% right. Here's the problem. Everybody is living behind their own little wall and living inside their own little nutshell. You know, with an iPad underneath their blanket in their basement. And everybody's like, oh, that guy's a dirty so-and-so. And this person's like, oh, that guy's... This is how people stay polarized. You're living in your own little echo chamber, your own little silly box under the covers, consuming only things that you believe or feel or believe are true on your iPad or your Android or your iPhone. Yeah, and you're living in your own little nutshell. And it's not right. Here's the fact. I got a call from somebody that I know, and they made... I'm a nerdy bookworm that spent many years in college, which doesn't mean anything because you don't learn anything in college. But, you know, I'm extremely well educated, right? But, I mean, I go up into the woods, you know, and I can hang out with those good old boys as well as I can with the most, you know, dyed-in-the-wool academic, you know, and have intelligent discussions, better than the academics can, actually, on topics of metaphysics and nonlinear ontology, stuff that, you know, just goes over top of people's... I'm perfectly at home, if you will, with either side. And, you know, these good old boys live up in the woods, for example. You know, this notion of banjo music and stuff like... Anyway, this person, they called me on the phone. He... and of course, it's like a reference to Kentucky. I said, Lexington, where I'm living right here, this is an incredibly liberal college town. And, you know, there's nothing but a bunch of rich horse farmers. And, you know, this is a serious white-collar town, right? IBM, so on and so forth. IBM. And, oh, I'm making these disparaging comments about, you know, like, you know, dumb... country, rural, I mean, stuff like that burns me up. And this is what people do. People create imaginary stereotypes in their head. Like, oh, you're in Kentucky, you're all in you're in banjo music and you know, people chewing tobacco and, thumping their body. Just this typical nonsense stereotype. And this person has no clue whatsoever. It's just like talking out of your bum. And but that's the sort of false ideation and polarization that living in your own nutshell. It's the reason why people in general too despise the people of Hollywood, because, and it's okay, they got plenty of money, who gives a darn, but an actor is nothing other than a professional liar. That's what an actor is, a professional liar. They live inside their own little nutshell. They hang out with people that think the same sort of crazy, illogical, insane stuff that they do. And they live inside of an orbit of their own delusions. And they surround themselves with other people that have the same sort of orbit of delusions about who they are and who you are. And all that does is it increases and breeds greater and greater polarization. And when you have greater and greater polarization, it's exactly like a magnet. They make really, really long bar magnets. Like really long, right? But you can only polarize a piece for so long. Yeah, it's kind of like you could hang 2 tons of weight across the steel girder, but if you increase the steel girder, then it starts to fold and eventually it'll buckle. Well, you can only polarize a bar magnet, and if you look at it underneath a field viewing film, you can see that the poles are actually well inside of the bar magnet. So, and they sell these on eBay and other places, like really, really long bar magnets, about that long, or some of them are about that. It's too far to polarize. You can't actually truly polarize the piece because the field will always find its own pressure within the piece. You can never polarize it like here's the North Pole and here's... You can't do it because it's spatially too long. But that requires another discourse on field theory, which this video is not about. But that's what human beings are like in societies. It's like trying to polarize a magnet that is just too long. It eventually undergoes its own collapse. And it causes enormous amounts of issues, and that's what society is doing to itself right now. Because every little fool, whether the fool is on the left or the fool is on the right, they're living in their own little silly nutshell, watching stuff that they agree with on their iPads, and then they're stereotyping the quote-unquote other side. There's no other side. All human beings get old and suffer and die and are taxed to death, so on and so forth. Most human beings just want freedom and security and want to be left the hell alone. Most anyway do. Some don't want that. Some want, for you to put a diaper on them from cradle to grave. And that's also, too, a type of polarization that has existed all throughout society since the dawn of time. Some people will sacrifice everything so that you will put them in a diaper from cradle to grave. And other people are like, I don't want any of your crap, and I want to be left alone. Go buzz off. And from that fundamental or primordial polarization within society, we have greater and greater growth. And the polarization will only go so far, just like the steel girder that gets longer and longer with 2 heavy weights on either end. It will fold. It will fold up like a cheap card table. And the steel girder that's holding up society and its 2 polarized sides has gotten too long, and it's right about ready to fold. That's not my opinion. That's a statement from me as someone that knows, You see trends, you see what goes on. Now, hopefully society doesn't do that. But the way things are going right now, it looks like that. Anyway, I'd like to know your thoughts. I genuinely do, and I genuinely read every comment. This video is not monetized, okay? So, stick that in your pipe and smoke it. And let me know what you think, because I love reading your comments, and other people love reading your comments too on these videos. Okay? Goodbye.